You know Thomas Edison as one of history's most prolific inventors. That's the story we've all been told, but there's another story. For 90 years, Edison's most controversial invention remained cloaked in silence. You won't find it in any history book, and it was almost wiped from all records. In 1921, Thomas Edison developed a plan to reinvent the one force that drives everything: money. I'm Mike Ward, and this is a story you've never been told. In 1921, Thomas Edison tried to reinvent the dollar. Now, while the U.S. government and the Federal Reserve initially silenced Edison's radical plan, it could only stay hidden for so long. Over the years, an underground movement championed this monetary breakthrough, and recently its existence was brought to light. It sparked a rebellion that quickly spread to Main Street America, to every corner of the globe. Right now, this radical new form of money is being used by millions of people in over 100 countries. It's trading on exchanges around the world, from Toronto to Singapore to the United States. It was once valued at less than a penny on these exchanges. But in 2013, a single unit of Edison's breakthrough money was valued at more than 482 Australian dollars, 330 euros, 280 British pounds, and 447 US dollars. In fact, one single dollar invested in it when it was first launched was recently worth $44,700. Now that bears repeating. $1 transformed into $44,700 in 2013. This new currency is changing the lives of average people who are turning small sums of money into thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, even millions of dollars. Edison's revenge on the dollar is beginning to rebalance the existing power structures, dictating who can become wealthy in America. It's why the U.S. Department of Justice calls it a renegade currency, why the European Central Bank fears it will negatively impact their reputation, why a senior economic advisor to President Reagan calls it a competitive threat to all currencies, and why the IRS is sounding the alarms that this may be the ultimate 21st century tax haven. Even though our federal government and our Federal Reserve are concerned about it limiting their power, 36 cities across 20 states allow you to pay for everything from water bills to parking tickets with Edison's renegade currency. 200,000 companies in the United States can currently pay their employees with it. 700,000 American businesses are turning to Edison's renegade currency, including Walmart, CVS, Lowe's, and Nike. You can use Edison's renegade currency to buy gold and silver, to buy Domino's Pizza and have it delivered, to pay for lunches and dinners at over 12,000 restaurants in 45 states. In Texas, a man who recently converted $1,200 US into this new money, because of its rapid rise in value, he was able to turn around and pay for a Porsche with it. In New York, a luxurious condo in the exclusive Trump Soho complex was recently listed for $1.9 million, but you couldn't pay for it with dollars. You couldn't use a check, bank or wire transfer, or even a credit card. You could only use Edison's renegade currency. Right now, the whole world is embracing it. In France, you can have your salary paid in it. Belgium, Denmark, Norway, Sweden, Australia, South Africa, it's a similar story. In Finland, dentists will accept payment in Edison's renegade currency. The same for a brewery in Berlin. In Toronto, you can rent office space with it. In Argentina, you can buy a vacation home. And in New Zealand, one company will even let you pay for a private flight to outer space. Edison's renegade currency is creating a new international monetary system. Something like this has never happened before in history. It's happening right now. And what's coming may change everything. As we speak, the founders and financial backers of Google, Facebook, Skype, Yahoo, major players in natural gas and oil, as well as with AT&T and Fidelity, they're moving into Edison's renegade currency. Some eBay auctions are now being held in it. MoneyGram is using it to facilitate millions upon millions of dollars worth of financial transactions. Western Union is beginning to assess the technology necessary to harness it. And Edison's renegade currency may soon be built into every web browser and cell phone on the planet. Every email may soon have the ability to deliver it by simply clicking the send button. Now, coming up, In this exclusive Money Morning TV event, I'm going to be joined by an acclaimed Pulitzer Prize-nominated financial journalist and former board member of a major Silicon Valley venture capital fund. He will reveal Edison's renegade currency and why some of the biggest venture capitalists are predicting that each unit of it could soon be worth $1,000, $100,000, even $1 million in the future. Then, later on in this broadcast, you'll receive 3 unique investment opportunities you can make with Edison's renegade currency today. If you're looking for income outside of stocks, bonds, and CDs, you will discover what could be a 280% annual dividend in Edison's renegade currency. If you are looking for aggressive capital gains, yet you want to avoid risky plays like options or futures, you'll be given a powerful and unconventional opportunity to turn Edison's renegade currency into a 463% windfall. Now, if you're looking for that rare, life-changing investment, you will be handed an amazing, off-the-grid opportunity in Edison's renegade currency to turn every $10 you invest into $437, every $100 into $4,367, and every $1,000 into $43,670. I'm pleased to now be joined by Michael Robinson. Michael is the Pulitzer Prize-nominated financial journalist and investment analyst whose work exposing an $80 million scandal at Bank of America captured international headlines. His book, Overdrawn, The Bailout of American Savings, foretold the nation's banking crisis, and his unparalleled ability to predict breakthrough investment trends has been featured in the New York Times, Detroit News, the San Francisco Examiner, Kansas City Times, and the Wall Street Journal. Michael has also risen to the top of Silicon Valley as a board member and senior advisor to a prominent venture capital fund. And now he is Money Morning's Director of Technology and Venture Capital Investing. Michael Robinson, thank you for being here.
It's great to be here, Mike.
Michael, we've got a big story developing right now. It's a true threat to the Fed. In fact, every central bank's cartel-like control over the world currencies. We've never seen anything like this before. And now, some of the biggest venture capitalists, folks in your circle, they are pushing millions of dollars into it. The biggest companies, they're starting to integrate it into their operations. But even more important, this new money, we've tracked down people using it to turn hundreds of dollars into thousands of dollars, into hundreds of thousands of dollars. Many are even turning it into millionaires. Michael, take us through this phenomenon.
You know, Mike, this is a really fascinating piece of economic history in the United States. It all started back in 1921. Now, back then, we were in the middle of one of the worst depressions in U.S. history. Remember, this predates the Great Depression, but it was a big one. It was a scary time in America. Our GDP just dropped like a rock. This would be the same as losing $1 trillion of our economic value today, gone in the blink of an eye, in 18 months. Then our dollar plunged by over 17%. It just dropped right off a cliff. So Thomas Edison blames all of this chaos on the Federal Reserve. And you know, he was right. He believed that even though we had a gold-backed dollar, the Fed still had far too much power to manipulate our money supply and our economy. And what the Fed really wanted was a single currency based on paper, really based on nothing more than mortgage loans. Those were his exact words.
It sounds like Thomas Edison hit the nail on the head here because, look, that's exactly what our dollar has been built on for years now. That's exactly what caused our 2008 recession, our financial crisis. Edison saw it coming.
Without question, Mike, Edison's solution was to weaken the Fed's power. Now, how do you weaken an institution with centralized power? Simple. You decentralize it. So as an inventor, Edison does what inventors do. He sits down and invents what became known as Edison dollars, a free market-driven dollar. He engineered his money to be decentralized across 36 commodities, decentralized across 12 warehouses. There would be 6 in the cotton states and 6 in the wheat states. And the only way new money could be created would be if new commodities were added to those warehouses. So Edison takes his plan to the governor of the Fed, the New York Fed. He goes to the heads of the national banks. Mike, guess what? They all united against him. They buried Edison's plan before he could ever get it started. In fact, only one copy of Edison's plan ever made it out to the public.
So how was Edison's vision kept alive all these years?
You know, it's a very strange thing, Mike. You had to follow a trail of breadcrumbs. Edison dollars were highly championed by none other than Henry Ford. So a free market capitalist gets behind a free market dollar, and the trail starts. Edison to Ford. Then it takes a new turn and it leads to Irving Fisher. Fisher was a famous economist who believed that the money supply should increase along a fixed set of rules, no Fed intervention. He was a major supporter of Edison dollars. Now then, it leads to Fisher's big protege. Almost everyone has heard of this guy, John Maynard Keynes. In 1944, at the Bretton Woods meetings, Keynes proposes his own commodity-backed currency. He called it Bancor. And here's the difference. This is extremely important. Edison wanted to overhaul the U.S. dollar. Keynes had a bigger idea. He wanted to overhaul all currencies. Now we have to follow those breadcrumbs again. Nobel Prize-winning economist Milton Friedman enters the scene.
You interviewed Milton Friedman years back. He discussed the role you found he played in this evolution of Edison's new money.
That's correct, Mike. Dr. Friedman and I were talking at his condo in San Francisco. His wife was with him. You know, they're great people. So we're having this incredible conversation. At one point, he turns to me and he says, point blank, Michael, we don't need the Fed. Just replace it with a computer. He wanted this computer to print those dollars on a set schedule, month after month, week after week, year after year, like clockwork. The same number of dollars are printed, no more, no less. Edison dollars were low-tech. Friedman fixed that.
From Edison to Ford to Fisher to Keynes to Friedman, they kept upgrading the original vision. But in 2009, we hit a point where the economic conditions were just right for a 21st century version of Edison dollars to appear.
Mike, what emerged was a perfect version of Edison dollars. Backed by multiple commodities, free market driven, and inflation proof, the money supply is controlled. Same amount printed on a set schedule. It cannot be manipulated, Mike, by any central banker or any government because it eliminates not only the Fed's centralized power, but that of all central banks. The only way to make all of this possible was for Edison's dollars to be reborn as high-tech, a digital currency, one created to act just like virtual gold, but also backed by an even more powerful commodity, and that, Mike, is energy. Every day, so much energy is allocated into maintaining this virtual currency. It could power 31,000 American homes. And its network isn't 12 decentralized warehouses across America. These modern Edison dollars are stored in a decentralized network of millions upon millions of computers located all over the world. In fact, if you took the top 500 supercomputers on this planet, put them all together, combine them in one giant network, this virtual currencies network would be 8 times stronger than that. And the movement is spreading at light speed. We just saw a 1,500% increase. 1,500% increase, I'm telling you, in trading activity in US dollars, in euros, you name it. And that's only in 3 months, Mike. These modern Edison dollars have now surpassed the total value of 20 national currencies. When have you ever heard of something that big growing that fast? Mike, these are 21st century Edison dollars. I'm talking about Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the realization of Thomas Edison's dream come true.
Now, Michael, a lot of folks have heard of Bitcoin, and it's unleashed a firestorm in the press. Now, I want to read some of these quotes for you now. Forbes, Bitcoin, the currency of a $10 trillion global market. Time magazine, this concept is perfect money. Fox Business, Bitcoin may become the world's payment method of choice. The Washington Post quoted experts calling Bitcoin the Holy Grail. Astonishingly secure, anonymous, invisible to the taxman. It could soon rival the dollar. And it's not just the press supporting Bitcoin. Ron Paul said dollar alternatives like Bitcoin are fantastic. They offer freedom of choice. They're commodities that offer better value than what the Fed is printing. The VP of PayPal, Bitcoin, the perfect currency by design. Bill Gates, it's a techno tour de force. Now, this one is especially intriguing, and get this. The CEO of Google, Eric Schmidt, he had the secret meeting in the UK. He was there with the vice president of the Council on Foreign Relations and a former advisor to the Secretary of State. They were talking about how Bitcoin helps overcome problems people have with central banks. Bitcoin operates like gold mining, and that Bitcoin is going to be worth a lot of money. Michael, you've got the Bitcoin revolution covered from a lot of angles. Your background in venture capital, where all this money is flowing into Bitcoin, your Silicon Valley technology background, your investment background. So let's start with a very important question. How in this day and age is Bitcoin even possible?
The global economy is based on hocus pocus, really on magic, the magic wand of central bankers and greedy governments. So to understand the hows and the whys of Bitcoin, you have to step back and look at all the pieces of a very big puzzle. Take our dollar. It's lost 96% of its value since 1913. The Australian dollar, it's fallen 99% over that same period. The Canadian dollar, down 95%. The British pound, off 99%. Warren Buffett recently stated the obvious about all of this. He publicly said people are right to fear paper money, that it's only going to be worth less and less over time. These currencies are dying right in front of us. None of us are blind to what's going on. Think about 2009 when Bitcoin launched. The entire world was stuck in the middle of the worst economic downturn since the Great Depression. Everyone starts pointing their fingers at their banks, their governments, and of course, people started looking for options. Now, what's been happening since 2009? Ungodly amounts of money printing, quantitative easing, 0% interest rates as far as the eye can see. Mike, people just got fed up. Bitcoin at its heart is a global rebellion against the Fed, against all those corrupt central banks. In its essence, Bitcoin is about control. But the picture is even bigger than that. Just go on MasterCard's website and read what they have to say about Bitcoin. Quote, "Desperate times call for desperate measures." Those are their words, not mine. I gotta tell you, they nailed it. And with Bitcoin, they say, there's no sovereign credit risk. Look what happened in Cyprus. The government tried to steal money from its citizens' own bank accounts. So, more people start looking around, they're saying, who can you trust? What currency can you trust? What investments can I trust? And from all of this demand for trust and control comes the Bitcoin revolution, and it became unstoppable.
Now, the fact that Bitcoin is a virtual currency.
Every currency is a virtual currency, Mike.
I don't think there are too many people who disagree with that notion. But this is what led a lot of folks in world governments and central banks to ignore Bitcoin until it had grown so big and powerful they couldn't anymore. But is Bitcoin even money?
Yes, absolutely, Bitcoin is money. Because there is no central bank, it's money that runs through this decentralized network around the world. Bitcoin is created at a set amount in set time increments. There's no manipulating it. That's why everyday folks look at Bitcoin, how it behaves, as a virtual gold standard.
You're absolutely right there. But governments and central banks, when Bitcoin emerged, they looked at it as some fly-by-night operation.
They made a very big mistake, Mike. This foolish view overlooks a very important detail. Just to keep Bitcoin running, it requires vast amounts of people to power this decentralized network. I talked about this figure earlier. Take the top 500 supercomputers, the ones being used by governments, militaries, and monster tech companies. Combine them all into one supercomputer, then make 8 of them. That's how powerful the Bitcoin network is.
You don't have to, I don't have to, we don't have to join this network to trade Bitcoin or invest in Bitcoin.
No, we don't. All folks need to understand is this network isn't going anywhere. And Bitcoin is not some fad or some hyped up story. The central bankers who thought that were just daydreaming. You can't walk into Walmart, CVS, Nike, Lowe's. You can't walk into 700,000 American businesses. They're not accepting seashells for purchases. Western Union has been in business for 160 years. It transferred $79 billion to over 200 countries last year. And MoneyGram has been in business for 70 years. Last year, it transferred $1.26 billion across 197 countries. They aren't doing money transfers with baseball cards. The French banking system has fully integrated Bitcoin. That means you can get your salary paid in it. And there are 200,000 American businesses equipped to pay salaries in Bitcoin. They're not equipped to pay salaries in fancy beads. Look at Bitcoin as an electronic transaction or payment, one with no borders and no country.
That really is the best way to explain it. I mean, after all, when we pull out that dollar out of our wallets and we put it in our bank account, or you pull out your credit card, make a wire transfer, go online and pay a bill, those are all just electronic transactions, exactly like Bitcoin.
Absolutely, Mike. Now, MoneyGram becoming a major Bitcoin player, and the president of PayPal admitting they're considering accepting Bitcoin, this is a big deal. It's critical folks understand where everything could be heading. PayPal processes 60% of all web transactions. So imagine Bitcoin getting some slice of all that. eBay is a $14.5 billion a year business, and its Latin American divisions are already accepting Bitcoin. Imagine if every eBay division does the same thing. Let's step back and think even bigger. Bitcoin is in the early stages of being integrated into every single internet browser. All of them, Mike. This technology is already available for both Chrome and Firefox. Microsoft prepared an internal report on Bitcoin where they described it as a radical new approach to monetary systems. That means Internet Explorer may not be too far behind. We need to take a moment to stop and think about what all this means. When this next phase happens, it will instantly put Bitcoin in front of every person with an internet connection in the entire world. Now, let's add another piece. This is really fascinating to me. The technology has now been launched to integrate Bitcoin into every email. It's amazing. There are 107 trillion, that's trillion, emails sent out a year. So put those pieces together. MoneyGram, Western Union, online wire transfers, eBay, online auctions, every internet browser, every email. Mike, we've got global online sales landing somewhere around $10 trillion a year. And Bitcoin is on the verge of being in the mix with it all.
Michael, if Bitcoin captures 1% or 5% of these markets, look out.
It's not stopping there. We've got to keep going down this road. Cell phones are also in play. iPhone and Android apps have already been built to integrate into the Bitcoin network. There are 6 billion cell phones in the world, and it's estimated mobile phone transactions will soon surpass $617 billion a year. Now imagine you open up your box when you get your brand new cell phone and Bitcoin is already built inside.
The possibilities are endless. And since it's a pure free market currency that's still in its infancy, investing in Bitcoin has been nothing but a thrill ride. One single dollar invested in Bitcoin in 2009 became worth $44,700 in 2013. But it wasn't a straight line up. In June of 2011, Bitcoin began to crash in value. Everyone thought the end was near, but then it surged. And you hear these numbers, and it's almost unimaginable. 22,275%. So that means $1,000 invested in Bitcoin after this plunge transformed into over $223,752. Now, if you just got started in Bitcoin in 2012, that same $1,000 turned into over $115,394. And if you waited until 2013, once again, that same $1,000 could have become over $33,963. People are becoming rich from this volatility. And Michael, later, I want to talk about those 3 very different, very unique ways to capitalize on this Bitcoin revolution. But before we get to all of that, for many folks, and I think this is a very big question on their minds, explain how this money works.
Bitcoin has 3 major technologies in play that give it all of these incredible benefits. The first is nothing new. It's the security technology that allows you to make a purchase with your credit card. This has been around since the 1970s, but those transactions have to go through the banks. Bitcoin eliminates this middleman. The second technology was developed by none other than the U.S. Naval Research Lab. Our Navy uses it in the Middle East for exchanging intelligence. Law enforcement uses it to help conceal their online investigations. And Bitcoin uses it to conduct nearly anonymous transactions online. Meaning, I don't know you, you don't know me. No identities, no addresses. We're just a set of numbers. Now, that third technology is called quantum cryptography. I'll admit it's a bit of a fancy name, but this is what keeps hackers and online criminals from stealing your financial information, from stealing your money.
Just to make sure we really understand this critical point, if one computer was compromised, it wouldn't matter to the network.
Exactly. There's no central bank, no central computer, no center to attack.
Michael, safety is obviously a big concern. I mean, nowadays, 1 out of every 167 credit card transactions is fraudulent. But the world's leading Bitcoin processor has reported exactly 0 cases of payment fraud.
Mike, that's just really another great benefit. While dollars or any paper currency can be counterfeited, you can't create a counterfeit Bitcoin. It just doesn't work. Yes, every person in this decentralized network is anonymous, but each Bitcoin creates a footprint, a digital footprint of exactly where it's been. So, if you were to steal my Bitcoin, you really couldn't do anything with it.
It'd be like somebody stealing the Mona Lisa and then going to your local art gallery or Christie's auction house and trying to sell it.
Yeah, steal a famous painting, just hang it on your wall. Steal some Bitcoin, good luck finding anybody willing to take it. Bitcoin is like having the greatest Swiss bank account on earth, only it's more private, as in, if I turn that $500 worth of Bitcoin into $100,000, no bank, nobody needs to know but me. And the beauty of all this is, you don't have to be a millionaire to get into Bitcoin. You can start off with very little money. Now, combine that privacy with a currency that, during these early volatile stages, it has some risk, but it's limited risk. The small amount you invest, sure, you could lose some of it, or it can make you wealthier than your wildest dreams.
So let's say I'm like most folks. I want to trade Bitcoin. How do I do that?
It's the same as if you wanted to trade your dollars for euros. Just go to a currency exchange. There are plenty of them online. 2 of Microsoft and Facebook's top execs just backed a new Bitcoin exchange. Others were funded by some of the creators or backers of Skype, Twitter, Groupon, Instagram. From there, what you do with your Bitcoin is up to you. If you want to buy cars or real estate or pay for your parking tickets or dinner, that's great. You can do all of these things. Bitcoin represents freedom.
Now, Michael, let's talk about where all of this is heading. Driven by a pure grassroots movement, Bitcoin has seen a 44,312-fold increase in value. This isn't hypothetical wealth being created either. Even though it's anonymous, people all around America are stepping forward to share how much Bitcoin has changed their financial futures. I've never seen this kind of wealth being created and finding its way into the hands of average folks.
We can't just look at this as an American phenomenon. This is truly global. A woman in Berlin named Heidi, she runs a tour guide business. She made 600,000 euros, so that's 774,000 US dollars in Bitcoin. Now she's accepting Bitcoin as payment for her tours. In another part of Berlin, the Kreuzberg district, there are 12 stores just in this area, Mike, taking Bitcoin. A bakery, a record store, a brewery, you name it. And in China, people are using Bitcoin to buy wine, to go to coffee shops, even to purchase medical equipment, and of course, to make money. 4 people got together and they made $280,000. One businessman even became $3.9 million richer from Bitcoin.
This is also amazing when you consider that Bitcoin wasn't even worth $1 until February of 2011. But now, Forbes has already written about the $1,000 Bitcoin. I've heard $2,000 Bitcoin. I even saw Business Insider reporting that Bitcoin could eventually capture between 1 and 10% of the entire global currency market. That would dictate every Bitcoin carry a value of between $100,000 and $1 million. But we have to imagine, once it's auto-integrated into every web browser, cell phone, and email, it's almost unfathomable how high Bitcoin could go.
Mike, when someone is talking about $1,000 or even $1 million Bitcoin, well, what are they talking about exactly? Let me put it another way. Let's say you had a backpack with $1 million worth of gold. Now, I come to you and I ask if you want to get it weighed. So you go to your bathroom scale and that backpack weighs, say, 45 pounds. Now, you take that backpack to an actual gold dealer. They put it on their scale and they tell you the gold weighs about 721 ounces, give or take. So, what's the answer? What scale are you using to weigh the value of Bitcoin? If your scale is weighing Bitcoin in dollars, it's a historic bull run. $1 of Bitcoin becoming worth thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars. Now, let's use a different scale. Take a look at this $1 bill. Instead of looking at this US dollar and this number 1 printed on it, let's put it away and look at the Fed's dollar index. That weighs how the dollar compares to all world currencies. and then look at how many Bitcoins it takes to buy that dollar index. What you have now is, even with Bitcoin's falls in 2011 and 2013, what you have is a US dollar in a death spiral against Bitcoin. Let's use the same scale to look at Wall Street's post-recession bull run. How many Bitcoin does it take to buy the S&P 500? A whole lot of Bitcoin in 2009 and 2010. But now it's starting to look a lot like we have a secret stock market crash happening in Bitcoin. So if you want to determine where Bitcoin is going to land in the future, ask yourself, are you confident in the US dollar, or any currency for that matter? Are you confident in the stock market? Bitcoin suggests the world isn't confident in either, and that bodes quite well for Bitcoin's future. I believe what we have is the most exciting investment opportunity on the planet, and this is all just getting started.
Now let's talk about making money from this Bitcoin revolution.
Major venture capitalists right now are flooding into Bitcoin. We're seeing funding from the inventors of Gmail, AdSense, Yahoo Mail. Peter Thiel was the first venture capitalist to fund Facebook. He funded LinkedIn and Yelp. He also co-founded PayPal. Thiel just poured millions into a Bitcoin company. Fred Wilson was the big venture capitalist behind Twitter. He just invested millions. These are not stupid people. But you don't need to spend millions to get into Bitcoin. Actually, it's just the opposite. This is the kind of venture capital opportunity that allows everyday folks to become venture capitalists themselves. We know this because it's happened repeatedly. Bitcoin rises. It falls. It rises back higher than before. And in every step of the way, it creates a lot of money. I like having something like that in play. Right now, Bitcoin is an opportunity to spend a few $100, $500, maybe $1,000, and that could turn into millions. What that means is you shouldn't bet the farm on Bitcoin because you don't need to.
You've created this very unique, this very comprehensive multimedia Bitcoin training system and investing package. It's designed so anyone could use it. It's called the Blueprint for the Bitcoin Revolution 2.0. How would you describe it to folks?
First off, I call it version 2.0 because Bitcoin is about to move into that next phase of its evolution. It's the big one. This is the phase where it completely integrates into the mainstream. This is where I believe the biggest money will be made. Now, this package has 4 distinct parts to it, which really allow everybody, people who have never heard of Bitcoin, as well as those who may be making money off it already. Everybody can take this and put it to work immediately. It starts with a very detailed guide. I call it Edison's Revenge, cashing in on Bitcoin's unprecedented windfalls. You will get the full history of Bitcoin. You'll learn the technologies driving Bitcoin, how this decentralized global network actually operates, how Bitcoins are created, how they are used for commerce, why they're viewed as virtual gold, inflation-proof, private, safe, how some people may be using them as a tax haven.
Michael, let's focus on that last one for a moment. Bitcoin has stirred up a lot of controversy regarding taxes. MSN Money has reported that it is ideal for anyone who wants to live outside of the U.S. tax structure, that it's virtually tax-free. But there's more to the story than that. That part of the guide is a must-read for anyone who feels the government is overtaxing them.
That is absolutely true. This guide also acts as a how-to manual for do-it-yourselfers. It guides you step by step through Bitcoin wallet options. As that name suggests, this is where you keep your Bitcoins. I guide you step by step through how to set up your Bitcoin wallet. This literally takes a minute, Mike. Anyone can do it. Next, I guide you once again, step by step, through the Bitcoin currency exchanges, the differences between the exchanges, the pros, the cons of each, how to fund them. I guide you step by step through Bitcoin trading charts and trends so folks can gradually become experts and get more comfortable with Bitcoin investing. I talk about the types of investments available in Bitcoin, the conventional investments, trading the currency itself, Bitcoin investment funds. I even explore the unconventional investments that are starting to crop up. Now, after we've covered all of this, this is absolutely, unequivocally when it gets really, really exciting. Now we're talking the specific investment opportunities I've got in my sights. Mike, I've actually interviewed the CEOs of these exchanges, the CEOs of Bitcoin investment funds, and other major players. I've been talking to my network of contacts in Silicon Valley to get a read on where the money's moving here. I found 3 really exciting and unique ways to play Bitcoin. The first deals with a Bitcoin investment fund. I've investigated these funds and I found this really exciting one. I've crunched the numbers over and over again, and I believe it's not going to pay out an 11 or 12% dividend, not even a 50 or a 100% one. It looks to me like it's about to start handing out 280% annual dividends in Bitcoin. And I'm not talking about some buy and hold for 40 years and it becomes that kind of dividend. It's becoming that kind of dividend right now, today. In fact, those dividends aren't even paid out quarterly, not even monthly, but weekly. That's what's so exciting. Now, the second investment involves the Bitcoin decentralized network itself. It's becoming more and more powerful every day. And there is one particular opportunity in this network which could give you a 463% windfall. I explain all this in my guide. Now, the third investment opportunity, this is a straight up Bitcoin currency play. But this is the big one. I believe it could turn every $100 that you put in into $4,367 and every $1,000 into $43,670. There's just no other investment opportunity on the planet right now that offers this kind of potential.
This quick guide, Michael, it covers Bitcoin from A to Z, but it's just the first piece. This is a high-tech multimedia package.
Yes, it is. I've also filmed the Bitcoin Virtual Roadmap. It's a 3-disc interactive video series that takes the Bitcoin experience and supercharges it. I'm right there with you on your computer. I'm virtually guiding you through everything. The first disc, I outline our big plan, our mission. We discuss simple Bitcoin terminology. I guide you click by click through setting up that Bitcoin wallet. You'll see it all happening on your screen. Mike, setting up a wallet can be done quickly, snapping your fingers quick, but it doesn't hurt to have someone help you along the way. Now, the second disc, here's where we're focusing on setting up your trading account on one of the Bitcoin currency exchanges. Folks can decide the exchange that best fits their needs. I talk about how to trade in different currencies. We go through the charts and the patterns together. We're discussing what to look for, the trends, the trigger events, the catalyst that can lead to aggressive surges and aggressive Bitcoin profits. That third disc, it's the specific investment opportunities. The Bitcoin investment funds, investing in the Bitcoin network, those lucrative Bitcoin currency trades, the unconventional opportunities. I show actual video interviews I've conducted with some of the major CEOs and major players in these opportunities. This way, you can understand why I'm so big on them. We even talk about how and where to spend your Bitcoin.
So we've got the guide, Edison's Revenge, cashing in on Bitcoin's unprecedented windfalls. We've got the Bitcoin Virtual Roadmap. We're going to mail these to folks today. Now let's talk about the Bitcoin Virtual Portal.
We obviously don't want people to have to wait until the post office delivers this package. There's just too much money in Bitcoin to have to wait. So the Bitcoin Virtual Portal is an online library that contains a digital edition of the book and all 3 of the discs. It also includes a quick start series of reports that we deliver in an email format. There are checklists, quick tips, and shortcuts that I've created for mastering Bitcoin. I want to make this as easy for people as I possibly can.
Michael, which you absolutely are. These first 3 pieces, the guide, the interactive discs, the virtual portal, they truly allow anyone to dive right into Bitcoin. You're opening this entire world, this radical new form of money, to everyday folks on Main Street America. You're putting them on this path that may lead them to becoming millionaires, all from Bitcoin. It's exactly the type of breakthrough, the type of global phenomenon you uncover in the NovaX report, which is why you're including a 1-year subscription to it in this amazing package. Michael, explain the NovaX report's role in everything we've been talking about today.
With the NovaX report, I'm looking for small companies with a stranglehold. Now, this could be a technology, a medical treatment, a process innovation. If it gives them a stranglehold on a sector with billions of dollars of potential, that's what I'm looking for. The Nova X report takes folks behind the curtain, so to speak, so they can tap into one of the greatest sources of individual wealth creation in the history of the human race. I'm talking about venture capitalism. Bitcoin is the quintessential venture capital opportunity. I believe average folks, they really can make great use of Bitcoin. They can use it to start their journey towards becoming Main Street venture capitalists.
Which is exactly what you are helping a lot of folks do. You were in early on rare earth minerals, which are critical to every piece of modern electronics. Folks who followed you made 990% cumulative gains. You've discovered huge opportunities in biotech. Take Acadia Pharmaceuticals. That was a 732% gain for subscribers.
Acadia was a great opportunity because they've made some key discoveries that address neurological and nervous system disorders. And they've been working on some promising treatments for Parkinson's disease, glaucoma, and schizophrenia. We're seeing amazing things happening in front of us all the time. There are major disruptive technologies and breakthroughs happening everywhere in the world. Just look at Lin TV. We were early to market with that. The hidden value of Lin TV was they were quickly becoming a leader in mobile and online television. They moved their whole platform to be an on-the-go, anywhere you go TV company. We all know this is the future. The younger generation doesn't even watch conventional TV. My kids watch TV on their smartphones or they steal my tablet to use it. So everyone is going to be doing that. And Lin TV was first to market. They really stood out from the crowd.
Lin TV was an incredible under-the-radar play, and you delivered a 102% payday to subscribers.
With Lin TV, I caught that stock at exactly the right time. I don't sit on the stocks for years, looking at them like trophies in a showcase. We're looking to get in early, to maximize our money, and then get out. That's what venture capitalists do. When they get in, they're immediately plotting their exit strategy. They're going to get out with money in their pocket.
Now, Cray Incorporated was another example of you getting into a disruptive technology or trend and delivering a quick payday. That 101% winner appeared in no time whatsoever.
I'm one of Cray's biggest fans, and so is the U.S. military. Because if you want to track missiles in real time and be able to shoot them down in real time, you need to be able to crunch a lot of data. That requires what Cray provides. They're a leader in a whole new niche called high-performance computing. Let me simplify that. Just think of them as supercomputers. Cray builds these supercomputers that government agencies and major corporations in the U.S., Canada, Japan, South America, and Europe must have. They're a leader in a new field that's rapidly growing called big data.
Michael, in just the last year, you've delivered 19 recommendations that paid out double and triple-digit gains. As we sit here, as these cameras are rolling, you have an 83% win rate on your current opportunities. But let's say I'm someone on the outside. Everything you've been talking about with Bitcoin sounds incredible. The Bitcoin Guide, the Bitcoin Virtual Roadmap, and the types of investment opportunities you've been sharing with folks who follow you. That sounds exciting too. So I claim this package today. What should I expect to receive as a subscriber to the Nova X report?
Mike, with the Nova X report, it's a monthly publication. It reveals the disruptive breakthroughs in technology. It uncovers cutting-edge advancements in science and medicine. I report on all of the exciting developments we're seeing. But most important, I show folks how to capitalize on them. I reveal the biggest investment opportunities on my radar screen each month. These are all straight stock plays. We're not talking about risky options or leverage moves. Because when you're looking to become a Main Street venture capitalist, you can get the big gains fast, but without the big risk. Each recommendation includes a concise yet detailed examination of the company. I show you how it looks after I run it through my RDTS. Now, that's my radical demand tracking system. It's unique to me. It crunches the financials of these companies, their cash flows, assets, technical indicators. Is money flowing into this stock? Is money going to keep flowing into this stock? I let folks see everything for themselves. I'm also very big on portfolio management, Mike. So when these investment plays hit maximum gains, I issue an instant sell alert. I also release weekly commentary, weekly market analysis on every single pick. I've built a members website that contains every communication, as well as an investment research library that uncovers major trends and opportunities. I also record audio and video briefings. I'll share my interviews with CEOs and Silicon Valley insiders. The Nova X Report is a complete solution.
We've covered a lot of ground today, and obviously, this incredible Bitcoin package, folks who put this to work may find themselves as the next Bitcoin millionaire success story. And with the Nova X Report there every step of the way, they stand to grow wealthier and wealthier as everything speeds up. Michael Robinson, thank you for being here today.
It's great to be with you, Mike.
The opportunity you have in front of you now is very serious. Bitcoin has already made many people very rich. It has shown repeatedly that it can turn minimal risk into potentially life-changing rewards. Hundreds of dollars potentially turning into tens of thousands of dollars. Thousands of dollars transforming into hundreds of thousands, even millions. And Michael Robinson will help you get in on the ground floor to use Bitcoin to become a Main Street venture capitalist. Everything you need is in the comprehensive and lucrative package he's prepared. It's called The Blueprint for the Bitcoin Revolution 2.0. It starts with a guide, Edison's Revenge, cashing in on Bitcoin's unprecedented windfalls. You will also receive the 3-disc interactive course, The Bitcoin Virtual Roadmap, and the online Bitcoin Virtual Portal. The value of these 3 pieces alone is $395. But there's a 4th piece to this package. You will also receive a 1-year subscription to Michael Robinson's Nova X Report. This piece normally costs $299 a year. So as you can see, this is a very valuable package. It is for people who are ready to step forward and capitalize on both the Bitcoin revolution and also the cutting-edge venture capital opportunities Michael Robinson brings to those who follow him in the Nova X Report, which is why, in the very near future, this package will be sold for $299. Now, as I previously mentioned, Michael Robinson has delivered in just the last year 19 recommendations that paid out double and triple-digit gains. And he currently has an outstanding 83% win rate on all open recommendations. So those who end up paying $299 may not have to wait too long to recoup it. Money Morning subscribers regularly step forward to share their stories concerning how they made 5 times their membership fees back in a year, 10 times their membership fees in 2 days, or $1,100 in profits after their first 4 days on board, $7,000 in under 2 weeks, $36,000 in 3 days, $45,000 in profits, over $186,700 in profits, even $1.5 million in just a year. This opportunity is what you make of it. And here's what I'm going to do. If you're one of the first 500 people to step forward today, I'm going to authorize an instant $250 discount off the regular price of this package. So you'll only pay $49. Now here's why I'm doing this. I want you to take that $250 and use it. Perhaps on that Bitcoin investment fund Michael Robinson uncovered that could pay a 280% annual dividend. Or the Bitcoin network investment opportunity he believes could reward you with a 463% windfall. Or maybe even the big one, that Bitcoin currency play that could turn every $1,000 into over $43,600. The sky is the limit with Bitcoin. But let Michael Robinson and my company, Money Morning, prove it to you. With this entire package, I'm authorizing a 90-day, 100% money-back guarantee. So take your time. Decide how you want to play Bitcoin. Review Michael Robinson's Nova X Report. And if at any time during the next 3 months you feel this isn't right for you, simply contact me and I will instantly return every penny of your membership dues. No questions asked. And you can keep the guide, Edison's Revenge, cashing in on Bitcoin's unprecedented windfalls, and the Bitcoin Virtual Roadmap, just as my gift, regardless of your decision. But you must act quickly, as only the first 500 people today will be eligible for this special rate on this amazing package. To claim yours, simply click the button below this video. Now, for Michael Robinson, I want to thank you for taking part in this Money Morning TV event. I'm Mike Ward. Good day.